Well, sir, there's nothing on earth like a genuine, bona fide, electrified 6-car monorail. What I say?
Monorail.
What's it called?
Monorail.
That's right, monorail.
Monorail. Monorail. Monorail.
Hey, my name's Cameron. We got Brian filming right now. We're at Giga-Bites Cafe in Atlanta, Georgia. The new store. We got all this space, we don't even know what to do with it anymore. So today we're doing the monorail mission. We've been slowly accumulating more and more scenery, so we've got everything we can find on the board. We've got some woodland scenics, trees for the park, which we're going to use as substantial area features. We've got the monorail, of course, for the mission. We've got the bunker scenery pack, which we're using as a focal point over here. Over here, we've got the orbital defense laser, which we're also just using as a focal point, not as the actual laser. So if you want to make as cool a table as we can make. The way the mission works, there's one objective inside the monorail. It's a double objective, so it's worth 4 points. 2 points if you find it, 4 points if you get it out of the monorail. And the difference is that unlike normal objective missions, it only has to get off the train. It doesn't have to get off the board, because it's a little more difficult to get it off the train than it is for a normal objective. Then we've got these 4 focal points. We've got 2 over here. We've got 2 back on the other board edge, so 2 for each player, basically. We're going to use the new tournament rules from the new tournament packs, so those are all worth 1 point if you can test, and then another 1 point if you catch them. Normally in the rule book it's 2 points, but the new tournament pack has it as 1, so we're going to play that way. And I think that's about it. The monorail moves along the track. You can get in and out of it with a light drop ship. Or there's also 2 stations. We have this station and this station. These are both stations where you can transfer infantry out into the train like you normally do it with transferring between buildings. So that's about it. We'll be back in a second with the army lists.
Alright, so this is a 1500 list for me. I've got 2 infantry battle groups. This one's got 1 squad of infantry with some kukris. This one's got 2 squads with, again, some kukris. Then I've got 1 command group with coyote. Then I've got 1 armor group with 6 tomahawks and a dream snare. And then I've got some war spears. And then, of course, I've got the gates.
So it looks like the 3 spirits, 2 Edens, a Gaia. Do you have any havens? 1 haven?
1 haven.
Okay, looking good. Be back with a PHR. Alright, here's my PHR list. I've got a level 3 commander inside a Zeus with an Odin and a Neptune. I've got a squad of 2 bases of Sirens inside a Triton, unarmed. I've got 4 Ares and 2 Phobos inside a Poseidon. I've got 2 units of Immortals inside Tritons. I've got another unit of Immortals inside a Triton. A squad of 2 Helios AA skimmers inside a Neptune, an Athena, and 2 Erebos walkers inside a Triton.
Alright, so my first activation, I brought in my larger infantry battle group, deployed the spirits, then had them deploy the infantry directly into the train station. These kukris drove in on the board, and then just because I had one, I've got this haven over here, and it also drove in on the board. So that's first activation.
Great. Alright, so I moved my Helios unit in right here, deployed them on turn 1, they got out, and then I put in a unit of Immortals and put them in the building here so that they can contest this focal point.
Alright, for my second activation, I activated my 2nd infantry battle group, attaching this gate and this gate. I had my kukris deploy out of the gate and then do their half move. And then I did not deploy the infantry out of this gate, I just moved it all the way up to the rail line. Yep.
Alright, so I deployed my main battle group, moved the Poseidon on 6 inches, and decided to deploy on turn 1 my 4 Ares and my 2 Phobos.
Alright, and I just activated my command battle group and deployed my commander, so that's all that's going on with that activation.
I moved my command group on, did a turn 1 drop, so there's the Odin and the Zeus, and I moved my unit of Sirens on here, and I didn't move them quite full distance because I wanted to keep them in range of the Helios in case his fast movers get an early shot at the next turn.
Alright, so my final activation for this turn was to bring in the big gate, drop off the tomahawks and the dream snare.
Okay, I moved my 2 Erebos walkers. I left them in the dropship, and the reason for that is that the monorail provides a basically wall blocking line of sight from 2 inches to 6 inches. So they're safe from his AA back here. And then I moved my 2 squads of Immortals up here, and again kept them near the Helios so they could have an AA screen in case his fast movers come on next turn. And I really should have moved my AA over to this side instead of over to that side of the building, so that's a minor mistake, but hopefully it's recoverable. Beginning of turn 2, just a couple issues. Cameron, the PHR player, won the roll-off, so I'm going first. I played Nano Cloaks during the cleanup phase on my Immortals in this building, and Brian played False Diplomacy on me in general, and I didn't have an espionage card, so I'm going to have to deal with that this turn. Alright, I tried to activate this infantry battle group here, but I failed my False Diplomacy rule, so I had to pick another one. So instead I picked my command battle group. The Sirens moved up here. They're protected from the AA fire because of the track. They've dumped the Sirens into the train. The command walkers here, I played a countermeasure hack card in order to shoot them. It turns out they were in range anyway. It was unnecessary. I misjudged it. But in any case, the 2 of them killed 2 kukris. They were able to hit on 2 pluses because they dropped last turn, so they don't get their skimmer bonus yet.
Alright, so I activated my larger infantry battle group, moved these kukris up, add the spirits that were here, move over to here, and then deployed the Braves into the train.
So we got 6 units of infantry in the train.
Yeah.
And they picked the Braves up out of the building as they flew by.
Right.
Yep. Alright, I moved my infantry battle group. This time I passed my False Diplomacy roll, so I was actually able to do them. The 2 Tritons moved up here by the train, so now we got 4 more Immortals in there. It has a total capacity of 12 because it has a garrison value of 6, so we're getting close to that. Giant CQB happening next turn. Then I moved my Erebos walkers around the building here, deployed them down under the monorail, and moved them out here.
Alright, I just activated my 2nd infantry battle group, and so they're into the tail end of this thing. So basically, we've got the train filled up with infantry.
Yep, 12 bases. And your kukri?
Right, and then the one where surviving kukri over here, it just moved up.
Cool. I tried to activate this battle group over here again. I failed my False Diplomacy roll, so I picked my main battle group over here. I loaded the Ares squad back into the Poseidon and moved it 6 inches forward because Poseidons are really slow. Move the Phobos forward 2 inches. That's it. All right. Really terrible activation for me. Tell me what happened here.
Oh, it was a great activation for me. So I brought in my air battle group. Both of them were available. Did an attack run against the Poseidon there. Rolled spectacularly well and managed to kill the Poseidon, have it drop onto the Phobos, damage each one of them, and then of the 4 Ares, 2 of them got killed in the crash.
And I tried to intercept with my Athena and failed.
Yes.
So just really horrible activation for me. Hopefully I can recover from that.
Yeah, but it really...
Alright, I activated my unit with the Helios. They moved around the corner here and shot his kukris with 12 shots and didn't roll any 6s, so I couldn't kill it. And then the Immortals went to the wall here, shot that kukri. Again, couldn't roll high enough to damage it. So that's it.
Alright, so I activated my armor group, moved them forward, took some shots at the building. I used my gate to leapfrog the Dream Snare forward. It's not taking any shots. And then I just had my commander walk forward and again shoot at the building. Did a little bit of damage and put some damage on some of his infantry.
2 damage on 1 squad. Building took 8. That's it. Alright, start of turn 3. Brian won initiative. We initiated a CQB here. The train moved again. And we had a rules question because I wanted to see if I was in range of the infantry squad inside the train in order to play another Nano Cloaks card, right there. And the problem was I was out of range. Well, both the train moves during the cleanup phase, and the Nano Cloaks card also plays during the cleanup phase. So at what point do you measure distance from the command unit to whatever's in the train? We ended up allowing me to play it because we said if the train moved halfway, would I be in range? And the answer was yes. So we don't really have a ruling on that. We'll have to figure that out later. But anyway, I'll be back in a second with Brian's first activation.
Alright, so I decided to gamble, and I brought in my war spears, did a little AA hunting, took out one of his phobos, and I managed to get through his reaction fire unscathed. So
Yep, rolled 2 hits, and he failed both his passives, and then I rolled Snake Eyes. So those phobos are worthless. Alright, so it was a terrible turn. I activated my command group. They killed Kukri. Then the Sirens were also in the command group, so that kicked off the CQB. The Sirens got their objective roll, failed it, didn't find anything. And this should actually be a 2. I rolled horribly in the CQB. The Sirens took 7 hits. They rolled 4 1s, so there's only 2 Sirens left. I only managed to do 5 damage to him with 60 dice. The average should have been 10 damage. I rolled way, way below average. He managed to kill an entire base of Immortals, kill 3 Immortals on that other base, and my Nano Cloaks, I failed every single dodge roll from them, and then I lost 4 Sirens. So this is looking really bad. Yeah.
yeah, I on the other hand am pretty happy. For my activation, I had played a quick thinking card previously, and it moved up my armor battle group, the Tomahawks, and fired at that building. So for my actual activation, I activated the rest of the armor group, which is basically the Dream Snare and this Gaia, or the, sorry,
It's a Gaia, yeah, that's right.
Gaia, or Gaia, and then just leapfrog the Dream Snare forward through the gate.
Alright. Alright, activated my Immortal squad here. They found the objective. Some of their transports moved up here. I had my Erebos walkers, their transport moved right up next to the track. The Erebos moved forward 6 inches, shot the Kukris, did nothing.
Alright. So I just activated my larger infantry battle group and redeployed the gates to over here. Moved this haven up over here. And then the Kukri squad that was being shot at over here, they just moved around and came over behind this building over here.
Yep, can't quite see them. There we go, I got it.
Okay. Yeah, you can see them. And that's it.
Alright, I did my Athena. It came in. I got 6 shots at that Eden back there. I rolled 1 hit on a 4-up and did 1 damage. So the bad luck streak continues.
My last activation was to move my commander up and then redeploy some of my gates for future turns. And I took another shot at the building. I did enough falling masonry damage to kill off the last stand of infantry, so it's not going to affect the train CQB, which was part of what I was trying to do.
Alright.
And that's it.
Okay, I actually had 2 battle groups to do at the end. Neither one was very eventful. For the Helios, they just rearranged slightly into a different position. Their infantry is dead, so not much to do there. And then with these guys, they just moved closer to the focal point. That's it. Beginning of turn 4, not a lot of cards going on to talk about. Brian won the initiative, and the train moved forward. Alright, Brian.
Yeah, I activated my air battle group again. Coming in and doing a little wild whistle, missing against the Phobos. I only got 1 squad in. I took the shot, I hit, but I rolled no damage. And then his reaction fire missed me, so... Again.
The Phobos have killed nothing this entire game.
Yeah. I think it's pretty cool.
Alright, I activated my Erebos squad, which was 2 Immortal bases and these Erebos walkers. They went around the corner and shot at that Kukri. They hit it once, but it made its passive save. And then that activated the CQB because one of my squads activated. I rolled a bit better, but it wasn't amazing. It was probably roughly even this time around. I'm still hanging on in there, but I mean, I've only got 5 guys left, and he's got 9. So they're probably going to die. That's not looking good. I passed all my fortitude checks. One of his squads failed a fortitude check, and we ran into the problem again of what happens if you fail a fortitude check while you're inside the train and you're not next to a station. So what we ruled is that he prematurely activated this spirit gate, and he just dematerialized him into the building over here. Seems like as good a rule as we could think of, but that's still kind of an unresolved rules issue. That's it.
Alright, so what I did is I activated my command group, tied it to this gate, dematerialized my commander out of this gate, then I had him rematerialize out of this gate over here and plop it down right here.
Okay, I activated my main battle group here, and I shot the building, did 3 damage to it, got 1 falling masonry, it did not damage the graves inside.
Alright, this turn I just activated my armor battle group, had the gate pick up everyone, shuffled forward, and then rematerialized everyone back onto the board.
Alright, I activated my Helios group, just slightly repositioned them back this way 6 inches and moved their transport a little bit. That's it.
I just activated my infantry battle group with the kukri squads to the side, and I basically just moved them over here and tried to get them away from his Erebos who are basically chasing me.
Alright, I brought my Athena on, tried to kill his Haven, and missed. I needed a 4-up. And it was also safe from the kukris over here because they moved a full 9, so they couldn't reaction fire because they moved too far. Alright, and I had one more activation, my command group. The Sirens are still involved in the CQB, but I picked up the Odin and the Zeus into there, and they're flying that way. Start of turn 5, I played a Spy Ring card at the roundup phase at the end of turn 4, so he only has a CV of 1. I won the roll-off, so I get to go first this turn. And the train moved, and that's about it. Alright, I brought my Athena on. We went like this. And there was a spirit gate here, I killed it. Then it came through this alley. He shot me with his 3 kukris and killed my Athena. I really wish my AA could fire like that.
Oh well.
Oh, you got the new AA spirit tanks over.
So I brought in my war spears, only one of them became available. I came in and did another Wild Weasel run against the surviving Phobos. No effect, and then his AA had no effect as well. So.
Again, I did no damage.
Yeah.
Alright, I activated my Helios squad, just moved them around behind the building here with their transport, moved this Triton over here just to get out of the way. Its troops are dead. That's it.
Okay.
Alright, I activated my main battle group over here, took 2 rail cannon shots at the building over there, did 1 damage to it, got the falling masonry roll, but it did not damage the bridge.
Activated another infantry battle group, and I also played Call for Extraction. I recycled my destroyed spirit. Then I attached all 3 spirits to that infantry battle group, and I moved this one, which was back here, straight up. The one that was over here, and then this one, I just brought it off the board edge and moved it straight up to there. So I've got 3 spirits convergent over on that corner of the board.
Going for the focal point. Alright, activated my command group, which is over here. The Neptune moved maximum distance over to there. And the Sirens activated the CQB. I have 1 Immortal left, and I managed to kill 1 Brave, which was another below average roll, sadly.
Yep. Okay, so I activated my armor group, basically just moved them forward, and I didn't move my gates, which is one of the things I was going to do.
We can do it after we're filming.
Alright. And took a shot at one of the Helios and did nothing.
Alright, I activated my infantry group. I moved their transports up, just in case there's a miracle on the train. And I took the Erebos and put them in their Neptune and moved the Neptune over here. So it's going for that focal point.
Alright, I only had the last activation, which is the command group, and I just assigned one of the gates to it, and I just moved the gate over to here.
Alright, we're at the start of turn 6. I took a bit of a risk, let him go first, and there's reasons for doing that. It's actually for this part of the board over here, and also because I want to be able to drop guys off and minimize the amount of shots they take once they land over here. But Unfortunately, that allowed Brian to take a shot at my guys while they were in the air with the war spears. So, go ahead.
Yeah, and I brought them in, and I focused all my fire on the high-value units. It's got the commander in it, and I managed to do 2 damage, and I needed to do 3 to bring them down.
So, still alive. I activated my main battle group here, moved my Phobos around the corner to see if I could see this gate. I couldn't, it's out of line of sight. So instead I shot that gate, only hit it once, and it made his passive save. So this Phobos has still not managed to damage anything in the entire game. That's his damage point. The Ares shot the building, did some more damage to it over there, but did not hurt the Braves inside. That's it.
I just activated my command battle group, and all I did was move my command walker back over here.
That's it. Alright, I activated my command battle group, moved the Triton over there, I don't even know why. And then I dropped off my Zeus and my Odin over there by his command walker, and I did it really close with a crazy pilot card.
Alright, I activated 1 infantry battle group. That was the one that was in this building. Used the Haven on the back side here, activated it. Got way over here. And then dematerialized there, and then rematerialized through this spirit gate into this building.
Alright. Alright, I moved my Helios up here, and I had my dropship fire at them, and the Helios fired. I managed to kill 1 Tomahawk.
Yep.
And they're now in range of the focal point.
Alright, so I activated my armor group and I moved the Tomahawks up. They shot at one of the Helios and did absolutely nothing. And then I activated my gates to the armor group, and then I took the Dream Snare from here, brought it back over here to help contest this focal point. And that was it.
Alright, I activated my Erebos group. They went, dropped here, and so they'll be putting their points towards that focal point over there. And actually, we still have to do the CQB, so let's pause it and we'll come back to that. Alright, same activation. We did the CQB, and my last guy got killed, and he didn't do any damage. So the objective's sitting there, but unfortunately Brian still has yet to activate one of those infantry groups. So. Alright, just another update. We were just reading the CQB rules, and it appears that he can't pick the objective up until his next turn, because since he was involved in the CQB, the aggressor's squads count as having that be their entire activation, and it says in the rulebook they cannot complete any more actions. So it looks like the objective's just going to sit there. Alright, we're at the end of the game. So we'll see how it went. For the monorail objective, because of the way the CQB rules work, he killed all my guys, but since he can take no further action this turn, he actually can't pick up the objective, so it just sat there, 0 points. This one, I win the objective for the focal point. I get 2 points. He gets 1 for contesting. Over here, he wins. I had no units over there, so he gets 2 points. So he's now up 3-2. Over here, I actually, even with that Dream Snare, I managed to outpoint him on that objective. So I win that one. So I got another 2. That puts me up to 4. And then he gets up to 4 because he gets 1 point for contesting. And then over here, he wins that one. I had 120 points. He had like 150 something. So he gets another 2. I get another 1. So he has 6. I have 5. So it looks like Brian won that one. Just barely.
Just barely.
Just barely. And I mean, I had some horrible, horrible luck in this game. Like, awful luck. And I almost pulled it back. It was pretty tight, especially being able to not let him get that monorail objective was pretty lucky, considering how bad that CQB went. From my perspective, I looked at the math for putting that infantry fight for the CQB, and if you were to roll that out, you know, a bunch of times, on average, I would have won that. I had stronger units. I had 2 units of Immortals, 1 unit of Sirens, and that should be able to kill 3 units of Braves. On that first turn alone, on average, I should have done 10 damage and killed more than half of his guys, but I did 5 damage. And because that allowed all of the guys to live, they did more damage back to me, and then it was just kind of downhill. So that was unlucky. Over here, I was going to go contest that with a Poseidon full of walkers. And usually, a Poseidon's really tough. It can take some damage, but he rolled really, really well with his War Spears. They came on, they blew up the Poseidon, and then that was on turn what? 2? 3?
2 or 3.
I think it was 2. And he came with his War Spears, and for 4 turns was just running strafing runs right over these guys, and I didn't even hurt them. I didn't hurt them at all for the entire game. And again, that's just crazy luck. Like, those War Spears should have been dead probably twice over. And because he had these War Spears, that really restricted my movement and made it really difficult to challenge those back objectives. I managed to get a little bit lucky and win that one, but I didn't have any units left to contest that, so he was still able to win it. And even then, even if I hadn't gotten this one, I still could have won this one, but he had this 1 unit of Braves that was sitting in the building over here, and I was pounding it for about 3 turns with rail cannons. He had 1 damage point of, like, 1 single Brave left alive, and he just kept surviving all the falling masonry rolls, and then used that Haven, teleported over here on the last turn when I couldn't do anything about it, once my guys had already shot, and that was it. So he contested it, and he got that last victory point, which won him the mission. So, I don't know, I know there's some stuff I could have done better, but I feel like my strategy was pretty sound this time. I just rolled badly. I hate to say that. I know I hear people say that. It always sounds like a cop-out, but yeah. I do think I want to drop the Athena out of this list and put in another proper AA unit. And the only reason I didn't do that for this battle, honestly, was because I forgot. I wrote up the list. It was on my laptop. I forgot to print it out. So I just used the old list. But that's fine. Yep, I still love the monorail mission. It's really fun to play with. It tends to produce really close battles because there's so many things going on that you can't really overcommit and focus on anything. It's an awesome mission, and I love playing. This is my 2nd time. So what do you think? What's your rundown on the battle?
This is my first time playing the monorail mission. I really enjoyed it. I've seen it played one other time, and that one was a close game. So getting to play it myself, I was definitely enjoying this game. A couple of things. One, Cameron did have some terrible bad luck in the CQB. Fortunately, I was able to get all 3 of my infantry squads into the same CQB in the same turn and just found a way. Braves and war suits are tough. And so I managed to get some really good dice rolls that knock his numbers down quick and still hang in there with the war suit saves. Given how close this mission was, it makes me think that I might want to start taking some firstborns, especially for something that's going to be such an extended fight, because we were fighting from turn 3 to turn 6 in the train, and only 1 unit failed the fortitude test. And that was the 1 unit that actually helped me win the game.
Yeah, the one that won the game for you over there.
I did have a strategy from the very beginning of having this 1 Haven linger over here by the focal point, and in the hopes that at some point I would be able to get something into that backfield and contest it.
One thing I could have done differently is if I had focused on that Haven a little more with my Athena, instead of trying to kill the spirits and some other stuff. It's hard to kill because you got to roll 4 up to hit it, and then you got to get double damage because it has 2 damage points. But I don't know, if I had gone 1 more attack run on the Haven, maybe I would have killed it, and then that actually would have ended up making him not be able to contest that. He still probably would have won on kill points at that point, but it would have been a little closer.
Right.
One other mistake I made was this infantry squad in this building did nothing. And I probably could have gotten it into the train before he put his last squad of Braves into the train. And if I had had the presence of mind to do that, it would have filled the train's capacity, which is 12 bases, and then he would have been stuck, and I would have been able to gang up on all his guys and kill them and maybe win the train mission, the train objective. So that could have helped too. That was a mistake.
Yeah, that was certainly a possibility, because I saw that infantry squad was over here, and I very deliberately waited on deploying my armor unit because I wanted to see where Cameron was going to put his armor unit, and I knew that once he would put it over here, he was going to have a tough slog. He was either going to have to transport by his Poseidon, or he was going to have to walk through this terrain.
They couldn't make it. They're too slow to walk, yeah.
They are slow, so he's going to be forced to go into his Poseidon, or he's going to have to walk down the roadway. So I deliberately avoided his armor unit and put mine over here. That was a very deliberate effort on my part. Also, in the last turn, you saw that I activated 3 of my spirits and rushed them all forward. That was, of course, because he still had that one Phobos out there, and he could take out 1, but he wasn't going to be able to take out 3.
Yep.
So I was somehow going to get that in there. A lot of people don't like the fast movers. I do because it allows you a flexibility. Yeah, it's an expensive points cost. My 4 spares did a fantastic job, way disproportionate to the points value. Coming in and getting a free shot at a precise and then taking it down, that right there made the entire points investment worth it. The fact that I was able to come in, you know, every other turn after that and just whittle down his AA a little bit every time was certainly helpful. Speaking of AA, advancing this one AA unit, or both of my AA units up to here, was probably a bad idea. I probably would have been better off deploying 1 back here and 1 back here. That way, if he did bring his dropships in, I would have at least been able to try and whittle them down and try and shoot them down. And if nothing else, they would have added their points value to the focal points to contest them.
Yeah. I would. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, and leapfrogging the dream snare with the Gaia was a very deliberate strategy. It's slow and can't keep up real well with the tomahawks. That just gives me a little bit more flexibility, and then being able to, at the last turn, to try and contest this focal point again with the gates. It just shows the flexibility of the gates and of the Shaltari. I just barely missed taking out this one dropship. If I had, I would have won this one as this focal point as well.
Yeah, and you probably should have too, mathematically. That was like one of the 1 times you had bad luck this game.
Yeah. So I definitely could have done some things better, even though I did wind up winning. A fair amount of luck certainly helped. Definitely the CQB, and definitely makes me think firstborns are something you really need in this mission, because you're going to have such a prolonged CQB through multiple turns.
Yeah. One other thing I'll point out, the Erebos, I really like them. You know, they have a lot of uses. One is that you can just throw them straight into an enemy tank formation as kind of a suicide unit and break it up and give yourself an advantage in the tank fight. But one other thing that they're great at is if your opponent separates their AA units from their anti-tank units, they can really bother the AA units. In this case, especially with the Shaltari ones, they've got energy 10 rail cannons, so they're killing them pretty well, and their armor 8 and the Shaltari are only energy 6, so they can't hurt them. And in the meantime, they also have their electronic warfare package that makes it so units near them can't shoot. So not only can the AA units not kill the Erebos, but they also aren't hitting anything else with their AA guns if they're near the Erebos. And what I was able to do is put the Erebos up the middle and basically herd his AA out of there behind the building, and that opened up the alley for me to bring my Neptunes in here and drop them off and win that objective. Again, it wasn't enough to win the mission, but I think that was one of my better tactical moves. I was a little proud of that.
Yeah, it definitely was. I never actually shot at the Erebos at all. They usually are a priority target. The only thing I was trying to do was make sure that I had some units, make sure that I was going to be able to win this objective, because I was concerned that at some point I was going to either lose the CQB and then our flood of infantry was going to come out and try and come over here and contest this objective, or the alternative, this haven over here was going to get destroyed, or this one grade was going to get killed by falling masonry, and then I wouldn't have anything to score points on this objective. So I just built in a little extra redundancy. So my AA didn't actually do much of anything except take down the Athena right here. So, yeah.
And then one other thing I did was that since this is a substantial area feature, a forest, it never came down to it, but I moved the Erebos here as his tomahawks were moving down here. So they actually weren't able to shoot through this because you can't shoot through more than 4 inches of forest. He never tried to shoot at them, but that was another of my tactics there. The Erebos were going to be safe from his tank formation because of that.
Yeah, an interesting point. I never even considered it because I was focused on trying to take out the infantry that was in that building.
Which was a good idea. I mean, that was really important. So, yep. All right, well, thanks for watching, and we'll be back next time.
I swear it's Springfield's only choice. Throw up your hands and raise your voice.
Monorail.
What's it called?
Monorail.
Once again.
Monorail. But Main Street's still all cracked and broken. Sorry, Mom. The mob has spoken. Monorail. 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 Monorail.
Mono, don't